Hey there and happy Monday. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. I was away at the Okoboji crafting retreat and just had a great time and met new people and reconnected with others. And I said to my husband, maybe I didn't get all my projects completed, but I did get quite a bit done. And yet my heart's full because the best part of the event was meeting and chatting with people and such too. So that was great. And thanks for those that came out and took a leap and maybe came for the first time, because I always brag up that wonderful retreat. So today I'm starting a new series, and with that I am bringing you Lois Anderson's virtual stamp party. And it was a great time for Lois to start her virtual party with a seasonal sale last week. A lot of you dove in and got some great deals while that was going on, and yet her party is going to stay open for 30 days. So like we have 3 more weeks of her party staying open too, but I'm demoing her cards today, tomorrow, and the next day. Hey there, Lois, my hostess has hopped on. That's wonderful. And hello there, Marie too. So Lois loves trees, and she recently ordered towards her own party what hostesses can do even before they close out their party. So I kind of took a look over what she has ordered, and since she loves trees, I wanted to incorporate trees into her card today, as well as the lovely layers vellum. So just looking at some products that she'll be getting soon with her order and how she can use those. And I thought that would be kind of fun to give her ideas, because I think that's the whole thing, is when we get things, it's like, okay, now how can we use those too? I think like you all can agree that that's part of it too. So let me just make sure that my iPad's on and that it's not making noise in the background with a 5-second delay. All right, and let me get my camera turned around and start with this card for you guys. All right, so let me just switch this here and give you that. All right, and I have Lois's host code here in the background, and then I will always post it with my still shot of the card after my video's done. So here we have some fun trees. Like I said, Lois and her daughter love trees. Let me get some better light on here. So hi, Donna, good to see you on here. And where this is coming from, the Very Best Occasion stamp set is where I have this really nice sentiment. May your days be happy, your heart be light, your Christmas merry, and the new year bright. And that comes from Very Best Occasions, which is in the mini catalog here, and that is on page 68. It can be coordinated with the punch here that comes with that as a bundle pricing, but I'm just going with the sentiments from this today, and you can see how they use the sentiment here on that page already and such. And I have used other ones too, as you can tell, maybe if you remember other things I've done, or you get my projects and go, oh yeah, that's where that is from. And I'm going to flip to the very last page here on 87, because sometimes this is overlooked. So this is called Celebrate Everything 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. You can get a 48 sheet 12 by 12 stack there for just $18 instead of like it's a $30 value if you are hosting. Or I like to let people know, if you are placing an order and it's $150, you get those host rewards. So make sure that you don't forget about the wonderfully priced hostess things in the back of each catalog. So the front comes like this, but like I said, look at all that paper. It's just really thick. And you might see how I've cut down some of these. I always leave my scraps in my 12 by 12 sheet. And if you think, okay, is that the only Christmas paper, those trees? Well, you can see there's this. You can see that there's these fun ornaments in there too. And I've used different things for Halloween and fall, as well as kind of just all occasion and fun patterns. So that is a great deal, and that's kind of where I'm focusing this too. So we have this nice 12 by 12 sheet of trees in there, black and white. And black and white is so fun to work with because you can just leave it as is. Hey there, Lisa. Hi, Diane. You can leave it as is or add just a little splash of color. And I was kind of torn because I liked the black and white, but I thought it's Christmas. You know, we need to have things jazzed up, pizzazzed up, and so we are adding color to today's project. So let me just show you again the card, because a bunch of you I see by my numbers just popped on. And I am going to start with my coloring here, and because I'm going to be coloring, I'm going to get this a little bit closer to the camera here so you can see it. I have this array of blends here, Dark Daffodil Delight and the Dark Real Red, both of my Granny Apple Greens, light and dark here, and then I have the dark Old Olive, and then just the bronze here. So I'm going to start with my dark Real Red color and get that ready to just color in a little bit. There's one tree pattern here that almost looks like buffalo check, so I'm just going to kind of color in those triangles. And what I love about the dark black pattern here is that you can just kind of go right over top. The red's not going to show up on top of the black when I do this, but you'll get all those areas filled in. And then there's another one down here, so I'm just going to fill that in as well. And for those of you that like to putz and color, I thought, man, tonight I'm just kind of like, after a long weekend, and it's been a long 2 weeks of being gone more than I've been home, tonight might be kind of a fun night. I'm going to fill in these two here, this kind of diagonal one. Tonight might be a good night to just chop up this paper in 5 1/4 by 4 inch strips here and just color in, you know, just grab these few markers. It doesn't take a lot of colors, and just kind of color away. So it's kind of one of those times where it's time to be cozy, and this is perfect for that. So that's what I'm doing with the red. Hi there, Wendy. Thanks for popping in. And then I'm going to take next the light Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to kind of, with the brush tip, usually I use the bullet tip, just going to kind of go out and go like so with some of that. I think that's the only maybe bushy tree like so. So I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm going to take my daffodil next, and then with the bullet tip, just kind of color in the stars, kind of just here and there. And if it doesn't get colored in perfectly, and if I go out of the lines, it's okay. You know why? It's going to look like it's sparkling, right? So that's kind of the goal there too. You could go over the little lines going out too to make it look like it's glowing if you want to as well. So I'm just gonna kind of hit all the stars like so. And of course, each 4 inch by 5 1/4 section too is going to have different types of stars and trees and that too. So I almost thought about just coloring the whole, whoops, here's one more, 12 by 12 sheet, and then just cutting it down into the squares too. But I thought, no, I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Hi there, Nikki. Thanks for joining in. All right, so next I'm going to take the Old Olive, so it's a little bit darker. I'm just going to kind of trace these little stick figure trees, if you want to call it, just adding a little bit of color. This could have easily stayed black and white, but I just thought, you know what, let's get a little bit of color going on those. And with the Old Olive, it just kind of stays a little bit muted with this whimsical pattern. We didn't want it to look all just crazy, but kind of in a fun way. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to do some of this coloring. Here's another one, like so, and like so, like that. And then I'm going to take my dark Granny Apple Green and just kind of go over some of the lines on like that tree and just kind of dot around with dots on the ones that are kind of dotted. And I'm kind of going over top the dots and yet around the dots. And then just kind of swiping here like so, and dotting here in just a pattern. And because these have pretty solid dots, I'm actually going to take the dark Granny Apple Green here and just color this one in. And it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, because it's kind of a whimsical pattern. So that's okay. So I'm just going to fill that in, dot this one, and I just kind of look around at all the patterns and go, kind of getting close to coloring in all the trees. Like this one's pretty solid, so I'm just going to do that solid. And then this is, again, the one with the solid dots. So I'm just going to kind of come around here and just color that in. So for those of you that like to color, this is good. And for those that maybe it isn't your favorite, it's not a ton of coloring, so it's really okay. So then I kind of go back and look and I'm like, oh, missed a star. So actually could have probably left that for the fact that we're going to put a sentiment on there, and that's okay too. And then I thought about leaving the tree bases just blank, but I'm like, you know what, that was kind of bugging me. So it's easy to just go in for the few that are showing and the few that have them and just kind of color in with that bronze blend now. So all those trees are colored in. So then you go, okay, did it make that much of a difference to have that? I think it did. So you can see, like I said, that's cute. But look at the difference, just adding a little bit of color. I thought that was really kind of fun. Hi there, Leah. Hi, Mary Beth. Hi, Fran. And we've got Amy and Tammy too. So thanks for joining in. So now the rest comes together pretty quick. And what I wanted to do was just add just like the skinny little layer of basic black to put on my card base. So my card base, let me flip this up a little bit too, now that I'm not coloring, just to give my workspace a little bit more space. So I cut my paper 4 1/4 by 11 and then just scored at the 5 1/2 there. So it's going this way. And so now this one, since this is 4 by 5 1/4, I'm just doing that little bit in between. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 for the black. So we've got that. And then that we can go ahead and tape down with the adhesive. So this is going to go on here. And just like I said, just the skinniest amount kind of that black is going to show. But what I like is it just kind of makes all that black on the pattern really pop. So I'm just going to take this now and put this on my real red card base here, like so. Okay, so now we go for kind of some embellishment here and some added additions to the card. What I'm going to use here is the mini ruffled ribbon, and this is in real red, and it's just so cute and festive for Christmas. So I wanted to be sure and incorporate something fun for Lois's card. And when it's this time of year, it's so fun to have virtual hostesses or even in-home hostesses because of all the fun extra things that I can add to products when it's like Christmas card, or projects when it's Christmas cards. So let me just give that a little bit of a twist there. And you know me, there's not going to be a fancy bow. It's just going to be a knot. I'm just going to kind of cut that at an angle so that they're even, like so. Okay, so now I said that I wanted to tie in these lovely layers. If you remember this, lovely layers from the annual catalog, lovely layers vellum. So it comes in this size, 3 1/4 or 3 3/4 by 5 inches, like so. And there's different designs. And so the one on the sample here has that black circle already on the vellum. And I thought it'd be fun to show you a different pattern. So I pulled out the ones that almost look like little black flecks. They could be little black snowflakes if you want to go that route. But here's kind of the other one that I was working with there. So I always think it's fun when I get the chance to be able to show you different things. Now with vellum, we have to be careful because we know that wherever we put adhesive, whether it be this, glue or glue dots, it's going to show. So I'm going to kind of like eye that and then know that we can put a glue dot up at the top here and then a glue dot down at the bottom here. And this ribbon is going to cover that up. Hi there, Kay from North Carolina. Thanks for joining in. So I'm just going to hide that there and do that. And so we just have extra little like texture and little dots there. And I think that's so cute. And it just adds to that whole whimsical paper look there in a fun way. So just saw that and I'm like, oh, and it kind of just takes the brightness away. So if you like the bright colors, but I don't know, I still feel like that shows through really well. And then next, before we figure out how we want to tack down the other things, I'm going to do some stamping. About time, right? So let me just grab this strip of basic white cardstock here. I'm just going to cut it down so it's not so long to run through my machine. And let me grab some Real Red ink here. Hi, Sharon. Whew, wow, got excited about Sharon coming up and on and about threw my card away. Okay, so like I said, from the very best occasions, may your days be happy, your heart be light, your Christmas be merry, and your new year bright. Just going to stamp that out in Real Red. And then as long as I have the ink here, I'm going to take the inside. Usually I save that for last, but I'm just going to stamp that. That same stamp set, may you enjoy the warmth of family this season. I'm just going to ink that up and get that on the inside, and then I'll close this up. And then as I'm setting down my ink pad, I also wanted to show you that this, whenever I have alternatives, hi there, Nancy, I like to show that too. So this black and white gingham ribbon would also be really super cute with this pattern too. And maybe, you know, without the vellum. So if you wanted kind of a bolder card showing that, and then the red kind of mutes it down with that ribbon. So there's just another option too that I like to show. And then with that too, sometimes you already have this ribbon on hand, or you might already have that ribbon on hand. So having that as an option is always something that I like to pass along too. Hi, Linda. Oh, thanks for your comment. And so next I'm going to get out, we'll see, I have this piece of vellum here laying on top because I almost did just a layer with a die, but then I liked the lovely layers, and it's something that, like I said, my hostess has already ordered. So we have the seasonal labels dies here, and they look fantastic. They coordinate with those pine cones and such for Christmas. And with that, I have this die, and that's going to fit this perfectly. So let me just get out my mini cut and emboss, even though this is a pretty decent sized sentiment and such. So let me just line this up. This weekend when I was with crafters, one of them said, what's the tip if I can't quite get my mini machine to just like scoot through like I want it to? And I always say that staggering the plates is the best tip. And sometimes I feel like you could almost say like just being sloppy, just kind of laying everything on here to get it to go through works pretty well too. So just by putting that in the mini machine, and you can see how these plates, like one's down underneath here, then this one, and then this one scooted back. It just pushed right through really, really easily. So that's really nice and easy to go through. So we've got that on there. And then I'm going to take just a few dimensionals to put on the back side of this. Oops. You can tell I made a mistake earlier when I was trying to put this together, and on the back side was one that looked really blurry when I inked it up and stamped it out. So like that's a good teaching moment, because with every piece of cardstock, there's two sides. So when you blow it on one side, you know, you can tip it over and stamp something really nice on the other. Hey there, Kirsten. Hi, Marilyn. So we've got that. And then I'm just going to center that here. Kind of these little fun dots just kind of make for a natural frame there like that. And then to accessorize this, I'm going to pull out, and I use a ton of these this Christmas season and into Valentine's, the red rhinestone basic jewels. So we have, I think, 210 of these, or 220 come on a sheet. So you'll be able to get lots of Christmas cards made with that. So with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm gonna give this a squeeze to get some putty out there. And I'm just going to add like a little red dot to the top of this tree here. And then maybe like another one on top of this tree, and another one like just kind of off to the side here, not even on a tree like that. So now what we've added by doing that is the opportunity to take mini glue dots here, and just on the back side we can see where these are stuck on there. And if I put a glue dot there, a mini glue dot there, and then just take with your Take Your Pick tool and pluck another one off. You can put it on the back side there, and then that's going to tack that vellum down. And then that last one here is going to go underneath there, and I'll press that down. So now that vellum has stuck really well, and we don't have any glue that we don't want to see, and all of that too. So so that kind of completes that in a fun way. I almost feel like my sentiment's just a tad bit crooked, and I've got Sarah checking in on my video tonight. Got to spend the weekend with Sarah at the camp for the retreat, and it's always such a pleasure to be in her company and everyone else at camp. And here she is. Alrighty, yes, and she did fall asleep before I left, and she was tired. We exhaust her. So that's always a good sign. All right, so the front is completed for Lois's card. And then this that I had just stamped, may you enjoy the warmth of this, a family this season. I'm just going to take my adhesive and put a little bit on there for the inside to complete the card like that. So we've got that like so for card number 1 for Lois Anderson's party here. So hopefully you can grab that code if you need to order from it. So what ordering looks like when I do virtual parties, in case you're newer, here, let me get this turned around, is I do 3 special projects. This would be project number 1. And like I said, the next 2 projects will be Tuesday and Wednesday, afternoon. And I will be making, these sets up. So anybody that's ordered a minimum order of $25 using the special host code will get the special cards that I'm making for Lois's party. And so I'll be busy crafting these up to get those out. And like I said, you still have 2 to 3 weeks yet to place an order using the special host code so that you'll see these cards in person if you order doing that. So that's how that works, and that's open to anybody. So if anybody thinks, you know what, I want to be one of your virtual hostesses, I will craft, do these live videos, and the people will get the 3 projects you made, or I made using the host code that way too. So that's all I have for tonight, and I wanted to make sure and get this 3 card session in before the busy Thanksgiving weekend too. So hopefully I've given you some inspiration, and hoping that you can put that to good use with the products you have, or maybe just if you have an order started, you might go, oh, I need to order that layering vellum or something like that for Lois's party. So have a good night. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.